All right. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Here we are, John and Jolene again. I'm sure you've all missed us.
Crazy. Well, if not, it's no big deal. We're just going to talk to each other, and if you want to listen, that's fantastic.
That's right.
If not, we totally understand. So,
And for those of you who have never watched our lives or listened to our podcasts, Jolene Hale and John Davidson here, we're co-workers. We have we started a Ketonian Corner. What was it? 3 years ago, and
and maybe even longer than that.
yeah, it's been 3.5. Yeah, we started in April of 2017, and we took an unexpected hiatus,
Well,
and the two of us.
we kind of planned it out. Maybe.
Yeah.
No?
Well, I mean, we were going to take a short break, but it extended for a year, and then everyone's lives hit the crazy COVID fiasco this past year, and so it extended for much longer than anticipated. So we're back at it, going to hold each other accountable for things and just talk about random nonsense.
Random fun. Yeah, awesome. All right. So, what is on the docket for today? Episode. I called it 1, but maybe this is episode 2.
Yeah, so our first one we just did kind of a kickoff, explained why we were MIA and the fact that neither one of us really stopped doing the eating. Unlike some people who fall off the wagon, we didn't really fall off the wagon. We stuck to it, but we just did not do it publicly for a while. So this week, though, let's talk about this carnivore. So we did a challenge in one of our, I don't know, I think it was April or May of 2017. We gave each other a challenge, and I struggled very much with that. I thought that it would be fine, and found out that it was a bigger struggle than I had anticipated. So let's kind of revisit the carnivore and how we approached it last time and where you are with the whole carnivore concept today.
Sure. Sounds good. So, why don't you tell me what is carnivore? If you're watching this, you've never heard of the carnivore diet.
So people classify carnivore as mostly a meat-based diet. Some people say that there are some things such as mushrooms that are acceptable and dairy, but basically the concept is anything that is a derivative of an animal. So eggs, cheese, that sort of thing constitute as carnivore. Now there are some people who are much stricter, and their version of carnivore is straight meat and nothing else. And then you've got people who are, a little looser, that they say they're carnivore, but then they'll classify it as keto carnivore. So they do allow other things in. But in general, it's just a meat-based diet.
All right. So let's refresh our memories. I did horrible. I think I lasted. Did I stay on that podcast recap podcast? How far I lasted?
I think it
Maybe.
was about 24 hours.
I'd like to give myself a little more credit in that. So let's just round up and say at least 2 days. And I think if I remember right, it's been a while, but I basically said I was just craving a salad. And
Yeah.
for those of you guys who don't remember, I'm a big my salads don't really quite probably count as salad because I put salad's the small part, and then I put cheese, and I make my own Caesar salad dressing, and I put anchovies on it, and it's more it's a calorie. It's very calorie rich, not the typical salad that you would think of. But
Do
it's
you do more like a meal salad versus a starter garden salad?
yeah. I'm not getting not drizzling French on some iceberg or lettuce by any means. So, but you lasted how long?
I lasted, I think it was just under a week. I struggled with it though. I did not think that I would. I'm not a huge vegetable fan to begin with, and so I thought it was going to be easy breezy for me, and it was a little more difficult than I had anticipated. So I did last a little longer than you, but we definitely did. Neither one of us lasted the 2 weeks that we had challenged each other to do.
Right.
Um, but since then, where are you at with all of that? Are
I
you still heavy vegetable?
I don't know. I don't think I would have ever said heavy vegetable, but yes, for lunch today I had that exact salad. I had so we grow some arugula and some kale in our garden just outside my back patio. So I literally walked outside, cut some kale off, cut some arugula, and then I put just a generic organic spring mix on the plate, and then I did a can of avocado. I would usually would do avocado, but not today. Anchovies. Open that, dumped it on top, and then my homemade Caesar salad dressing, and then I get the hard cheese that's on Caesar salads. What cheese is on Caesar salads? That hard white cheese.
Parmesan?
Is it? Is it Parmesan?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe.
But it's the hard.
I'm not a salad eater.
Yeah. Okay, well it's the super hard cheese that's not the shaker bottle, not the green shaker bottle. but but yeah, so that's what I actually had for lunch today. So I would say that I am almost exactly where we left off 2 years ago, which is
Okay.
crazy. Um, so just before we jump into what you're doing, when we ended that carnivore diet, I don't think I lasted long enough to have any digestion differences, if that makes any sense.
Hmm.
I was trying to remember. Did you have any changes to your digestion or
I really didn't.
no?
I know
Okay,
people report that,
I've heard that before
but
too. I was just kind of bringing it up because I'm sure people would think that.
yeah, I really didn't. To be honest, my experience is quite the opposite. I have those issues when I eat more vegetables.
Because of the fiber.
Yeah, so
Now, when you hear about it and people are chatting on the water cooler, whatever that means, it's that they get constipated, right? Is that the
it's kind of all over the place. Some people say that they do get constipation. Some people say that they just get irritated and they're constantly going to the bathroom. Um, to be honest, I don't think that it is what you're moving to. I think it's what you're moving away from that
yeah?
causes any kind of those upsets.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, so I guess we all realized that I have changed nothing and I'm exactly the same. How about yourself?
Um, I have gone mostly carnivore. Um, so for anybody who has listened to this before, my husband has always been a self-proclaimed vegetable hater, but I honestly, he eats a lot more vegetables than I do. He will ask for vegetables, or we go to dinner somewhere and he'll get, double or triple order of broccoli, which it just cracks me up. But I really
I
don't.
swear we've talked about him not eating broccoli
Oh,
or
he hated,
cauliflower.
yeah, he hated vegetables. And before we changed our eating habits, he would never eat a vegetable.
Got it.
Um, and so as we started doing, eating healthier and started losing weight, I told him, eating these things are good for you and it'll help you. And so he reluctantly did it. And yeah, he's the vegetable eater now. He's
Funny.
constantly asking for cauliflower and broccoli and
Do you still
um,
do you still make that loaded cauliflower bake?
I have not.
Oh, you were the one that
So
turned me on to that, right?
yeah,
Oh man,
yeah,
I make that almost every other week now. Put it in a 16 by 9 pan, and I've tacked it on to my when I make the mayonnaise because I'll make your mayonnaise that you finally convinced me to try. When I have time, I'll do that, and then I'll take half of that mayonnaise and turn it into Caesar salad dressing, and then the other half I put in that loaded cauliflower bake.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't make it because I won't eat it. So, I
sure.
mean, that's a lot for, I mean, you've got kids and stuff that eat vegetables as well, but it's
Yeah,
just Brian and I, so it really is kind of a waste.
Got it.
But I don't like the flavor of vegetables anymore. I don't know why. I mean, there were some vegetables that I would eat, and I actually enjoyed, but I really just don't like them. And I have found that since I have eliminated them, they really bother my stomach.
When you bring
I
it back in, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. And so, and I don't mean like, bathroom problems. Like I have pain in my stomach that is, it's sometimes almost unbearable. So it's really not an enjoyable experience for me.
Yeah, I like
And
it.
that coupled with not liking the taste of it, I just eliminated it. So
Huh.
I have gone carnivore, not on purpose, but I just, yeah, I feel better not including those in my diet, and so I don't.
Well, that's cool. So, how long did it take you to make that transition? Since it's been a couple of years almost since we've been talking, was it just like slowly? You said became accidental. So, if you could walk me through that a little bit, was that over like 6 months? You gradually made less and less, and then finally Brian's like, "Hey, I'm over here. I like vegetables. Don't forget about me." Or how'd that
Yeah,
go?
so I talked a little bit about the experience that I had 2 years ago. And so I was really sick for an entire year where Brian had to pick up all of the tasks of the house, right? So he had to make dinner. And because he wasn't the one who cooked our meals, it was easier for him to just go out to the grill and do some meat and skip everything else
Oh,
or to throw something in. And so
yeah.
it kind of became just because I was not able to stand at the stove and cook things. Um, and because I was so sick that I wasn't able to eat that much anyway. So it it just kind of gradually happened like that I was eliminating things and truly not on purpose. But the protein for me to heal was more important than the other things, and so that's what I tried to focus on, just to try to heal my body. And so through that transition, that's kind of how that happened. Um, Once I started feeling better and started, I was able to actually go back to those daily activities of cooking. That's when I noticed that it really bothered my stomach. And again, this isn't a bloating issue or bathroom issue. It physically, I had pain in my intestines. And so that's, I just started really noticing all of that and thought, well, this isn't really worth it. I don't like the flavor as much as I thought I did anyway. So I really just kind of gravitated away from them just because I didn't want to go through that.
Yeah, right.
Um, but I will tell you this for the past year. So Brian and I moved to Arizona almost a year, well, just over a year ago, I guess now. Um, and when we got out here, we found a local farmer, and she does only cows. And so we were able to purchase some beef. Um, and I have found that I'm also not a big fan of any other meat. So I truly eat just beef.
So, do you
Most
do
people,
nose to tail?
I did not get any organs with the meat that we purchased from this butcher, just or from the farmer, because she had already had it butchered and it was just a package that she had available.
Yeah.
Now we have since bought another one. So earlier this year we bought some more meat from her, and I again did not get it just because I don't know. I mean, I have tried it. Um,
I'm telling you, you get it grind. You just have them grind it up in the hamburger. You don't even know you're getting it.
Yeah, I actually bought a grinder because we did have, when we were still back in Illinois, we did have liver and stuff. Um, so I did buy it and I have tried it, but I'm just not a fan.
Yeah.
Uh, and it has nothing to do with the thought of it, which is what is most people's restriction, right? They thought of eating organ meat is
No.
just,
Well,
I don't have
you're
that.
the one that brought a tongue into work
That's right. That's right.
for me to try.
Yeah, and it actually is really good.
Yeah.
But for
I
whatever reason, that wasn't part of the option from this butcher when I filled out the butcher sheet. So, but anyway, so through all of this, I just figured out I don't like pork. We'll go to the grocery store, and we've got a local grocery store here who I've done some research. They don't have anything that they include in their meat, and there's no antibiotics and all that stuff. It's not as clean as buying it from a farmer, but for the quantity, I'm good with getting that. But I just don't like. I'll eat a half a pork chop and give it to Brian. I despise the taste of chicken now. I don't know if it's my age or what is going on, but I just my taste buds have changed considerably, and yeah, so I
I
eat beef.
purposely rotate meats. So we have a pig and we get a cow, and
Hmm.
then I literally think I want to have fish one day this week. When if I did a pork roast one time, I'll do you know a beef roast the next.
Yeah, I mean we do still eat fish on occasion, but yeah, I would say 90% of my diet is beef. So
So what are the other pieces? Like do you do cream or cheese or
I do. So every morning in my coffee, I used to have the elaborate coffee and do all of the additives. And I, quite honestly, when we moved out here, I just simplified everything, and it's a little stevia and salt and cream in my coffee. And I do eat cheese. So, like for breakfast this morning, I tore off some of the roast that was left over from dinner and threw it in a bowl and put some cheese over top of it and melted it, and that's what I had for breakfast.
ooh,
Um,
you got thumbs up from the chat on that one.
nice. Yeah, so and the thing is that a lot of people would say, oh my gosh, eating red meat is going to be so unhealthy. And I think I told you last time that one of the goals to moving to Arizona was to have Dr. Adam Nally
Yep.
be my doctor. And so I actually, I've got some thyroid issues, and so I've been going to the doctor actually every few months since we've been here, because my medication got changed before we left Illinois, and so he's been trying to adjust that for me. So we've been working on that, but in with those lab work that he does for the thyroid, we also do all of the other stuff, and my numbers are phenomenal.
Great.
So red
Yes.
meat is doing nothing for my heart in a bad way. My cholesterol is actually really really good. So
Did you ever do one of those the calcium index scores?
I did not.
I know
I
we
did
talked about
not.
that, and then I went to Bloomington and got it done so I could see what it was like and everything. And
Yeah,
I didn't know if that it seems to be those are either people swear by them or people don't trust them.
yeah. I haven't, but I would love to. Actually, I have an appointment with Dr. Nally coming up real soon. So I would love to bring that up to him and see what his thoughts are, and see if there's somewhere here
Yeah,
locally that does that. So um,
yeah. They say it's more of a comparison. Once you have a baseline, then you can do it again and then compare your scores and see if you're heading the right direction or not.
yeah.
But
Well, and having Dr. Nally, who is very familiar with this way of eating,
yeah,
and he knows the different markers to be looking at, where sometimes you have a regular doctor who isn't familiar,
right.
they're not really looking at the same things. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
totally. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's so. Time wise, depending on when you're listening to this podcast, we're just getting still in summer, so we still have the summer garden and all that stuff going. So it's not a time where I'm willing to throw down the gauntlet for another challenge. But we should revisit this later on in the season, and once it gets more toward winter time, I would be willing to try it again.
Yeah, because honestly, I'm very curious with somebody who enjoys vegetables and you do eat them on a regular basis, where
Yeah.
unlike me, even when I ate them and enjoyed them, it was occasional because Brian wouldn't eat them.
Well, and you were
Uh,
doing it too because you thought you should,
right.
which
Yeah,
is
right.
different than. So what's Brian do today for vegetables?
Uh,
You
mainly
mentioned the
broccoli.
extra broccoli.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does mainly broccoli. At home, we rarely do that. I mean, sometimes he'll ask for it, but again, because I just don't eat them, and I mean, maybe I'm just old and cantankerous, but I figure if I don't like them, I'm not eating them. And so, I'll make them for him if that's what he wants, but it's just a lot of food that then, he has to incorporate. And honestly, Brian has gone to eating one meal a day.
Oh,
Um,
nice. Little warrior
so
diet action, huh?
yeah, he did a fast. So I don't know if you remember Brian and I, after we had Tom Ceased
Hmm.
on our podcast, Brian and I decided to do a fast, and I lasted, I think it was 36 hours, and ended up getting sick at work. And so I
I
talked to
remember that.
Tom. Yeah, I talked to Tom, and he said, "Stop it. Go
Yeah.
put some salt in your body and get some food."
And that
Um,
one, I actually made it the whole time.
Yeah. And Brian did it for 72 hours. He actually broke his fast because we had some steaks thawed out and he was going to make them for me. And then the smell of it just was too much. And so he decided to break his fast at that point. But he could have gone longer.
What
Once
did I
he
do?
did that,
I did a week, right?
I think you
Or
did. Yeah. Yeah. It
that was
was
the,
pretty,
that was the challenge that Tom gave us, maybe.
yeah, it was pretty extended.
I
Um,
remember. I remember day 2 and day 3 were kind of mentally challenging for me,
mhm,
and then it didn't bother me after that. Like you said, Brian felt like he could just keep going,
yeah.
but he had a steak there. So I mean, I think if I had a steak with my name on it sitting there on the counter, I'd, I'd probably want to eat it too. But
Yeah.
yeah, I went all the way till that that I think it was a week. Um,
Yeah. And to be honest, at this point, I've thought about doing it again, but mine isn't. It has become that mental thing because, I mean,
you related to the situation of last
yeah,
time, right?
yeah, and it really, yeah, I get very anxious thinking about it.
Yeah,
But when we moved out here, Brian transferred with his company and came out here, and so initially it was difficult. He was in training and whatever, so he couldn't really heat up food, um, and so he just didn't take any, and then he got used to that, and
yeah,
so yeah, he drinks 1 cup of coffee plain, so black coffee in the morning, and then he does not eat until he comes home for dinner, so probably 4:30 or 5 o'clock. Um, and then, I mean, and he has a pretty big window, right? He'll eat till probably 7 o'clock. And he eats a lot, but
yeah.
that's the only meal.
He's not
And
limiting
then,
calories. He's just putting all the
exactly.
calories into this. What do they call that? I've heard it referred to as a 24 20 hours not eating and 4 hour window to eat.
Yeah. Yep.
But I think it's cooler to say the warrior diet. I think that's what made that popular before fasting was popular.
Yeah. So, and I mean, he does very well on it, even on the weekends. I mean, sometimes he'll make, eggs or something around 11 o'clock in the morning, but on the most part, he follows it even through the weekend. And he seems to thrive on it. So he
And
enjoys,
does he put cream in his coffee? I don't
he
remember.
does not. He does
Okay,
not.
so
He drinks the black.
he's
No
black coffee
sweet.
in the morning,
Yep.
just rolls till whenever.
Yep. Yep, he'll
Yeah,
have 1 coffee before he leaves for work. And when I say coffee, I think they're like 20-ounce mugs or something. It's like half a pot. But he has nothing in it. It's no sweetener, no cream,
yeah.
no nothing.
Well, cool.
Well, although he does put his keto chow drops in it. So he does electrolyte drops in the coffee. But other than
Oh,
that,
that now the electrolytes.
yeah,
It's
right.
funny you say that. Check this out right here.
Yeah, so a
Keto
little plug for our keto
That's
chow
stuff
friends.
right there. Do you see they're doing live streams now?
Are they? I haven't seen. I
Uh,
haven't been on Facebook much, but
YouTube only.
oh, okay.
I don't think it's Facebook. I think it's YouTube.
I'll
I'm
have
not
to go check
100%
them
sure about that, but that's where I've seen them is on
out.
YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to
Is
go
that
check them out.
follow? They were a fun interview too.
Yes.
You know what? We just made show notes. You now have to do show notes for. Oh well, or we have to repost the episodes. Man, this is difficult.
Yeah.
Starting over is hard. But maybe we'll have to figure out a strategy to bring back some of the old episodes, because already we've talked about referencing 2 old episodes. That would be the one on fasting, and then the one with the Keto Chow folks. And I still like to order that chicken soup, the sample he gave us. Do you
Yeah.
remember that?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I still have some. That
Yeah,
reminds me.
the chicken soup, and then they came out with a new flavor that's called tortilla. I
Oh,
think it's called tortilla soup, and it's kind of like a cross between tomato and, I don't know, maybe tomato and chicken.
huh.
And and for those of you guys who don't know, think protein shake, but instead of protein powder, you're putting in the base for a soup. So you can do heavy whipping cream, whatever liquids you want. So usually I do some heavy whipping cream and then warm water, and then you have like a cup of soup you're drinking.
Nice.
I have that bag right around the corner too, but I don't it'd take too long. This doesn't lead itself to good podcasting.
Nice.
So, is there any other brands that you're still using? Because I still do keto bricks also.
I I don't. I mean, I'm
If you're doing carnivore, you wouldn't, right?
yeah.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, I still do their bricks. Not as much as I was there for a while. I was almost using them for a calorie booster, and but I still buy the variety pack and have them on occasion when especially if I'm traveling. And pro tip: go ahead and set them outside of your container if you're going uh, through airline security, because
Yes.
it's hit or miss. They either freak out or they just don't even say anything. So it's just easier to take it out so then they could look at it.
Yes, and that's the one that we got stopped coming back from KetoCon. You, me, and about 30 other people coming out of there, and because they couldn't see through the uh,
The
aluminum
wrapper.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think you're right. I think you're right. But even the new wrappers, it's still hit or miss. So
oh, they have a new wrapper.
yeah, so before they were wrapped almost like you would manually put aluminum foil around them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Now they're in sealed kind of pouches.
Oh okay.
So, um, but yeah, yeah. So, all right. Well, hey, what's on the docket for next week? Or not next week? Or is it next week? Are we changing the schedule? I already forgot.
We are. We're gonna go to the second and the fourth. That seems to work out for our schedules a little bit better.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I'm on vacation next week, so
Okay. So not next week, but we're gonna switch in August. No, we can't move the new schedule. You're on a vacation.
no, I'm on vacation next week, which is the first week in August. So
Right.
we'll do the second week.
Second
So
week.
we'll be back talking. What would that be? The 11th.
Sounds good.
So it'll be the 11th and the 25th of next month.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Well, hey, thanks for catching up. It's good to get another episode under the belt so we get back into the swing of things.
Absolutely.
So if somebody's got questions, they want to know what we've changed in our lives, what we're doing differently, or just how do they get in contact with us?
We are available on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram. We have our website as well, which is Ketonian Corner, and that is spelled with a K. So Ketonian Corner with a K.com. And we're at Ketonian Corner on all of the social medias. And yeah, you can send questions. We also have a email account, which is ketoniancorner@gmail.com. And so you can always send them there. And yeah, send us all of your questions, and we'd be happy to talk about whatever you got.
And if you don't like to write, go to the website, click on the podcast. There should be a little thing where they can do a voice recording. I think we added that lately.
Okay,
And
nice.
if not, now that I said that, we better go check and make sure it's live. How's that? All right. Well, hey, it's good talking to you. So until 2 weeks.
Yep, great. Talk to you later.